Hello folks, I'm back. I know that I've had a terrible day 6 and I struggled completely yesterday, lost 2 games, terrible losses, gut-wrenching losses, but I'm back folks, and today I'm going to continue putting in some energy into chess. I'm going to give my hour, I'm going to give my best in the next 1 hour for chess. So I'm going to start off with the regular flow. I'm going to start with puzzle streak. We are in puzzle streak number 22. And how does this work? Here we have, should we exchange? That's the question. I guess we should, because our king is fairly active and this we have a passer and opponent does not. So, oh, okay, how does this work? Why would you give your knight for free? I'm just really concerned. Why did not he move it here? I take and he takes, and then I just update this here, and he does not have any way to stop this pawn, and then I'm completely winning. Wonderful folks, so I was right in my calculation there. Now here, as we can see, this is basically he's just taken this rook. He has an X-ray defense, but I think we do have a defense for this situation, which is I take this here and I maintain the fork, but he does have this check to give. Alright folks, I'm not clear what needs to be done. I take this, he gives this check. I'm still down, a material down and exchange down situation. I think I need to have a much cleaner way to handle this position. So knight takes, rook comes back, and then I can simply take this. Yeah, I mean there's no problem here, and I can simply get back this rook. Alright folks, so great. Now we have now the problem is that when I take, he takes, and then he's just queening, but I can just simply come in and grab this pawn, and I have my own set of passes on this side. So I think it's a blunder by the opposition. I cannot wait to take this. Great folks, we reached 26. We are 2 minutes into the day, and let's see what's happening here. He has just taken up one of my pieces. I take, he takes, I take. He has to defend, and then I get this back. Have I done anything wrong here? I don't think so. My calculation is wrong. Yes, I am right. My calculation was correct in that situation. As you can see, this appears to be a completely lost game with not much material left on my side of the board. Rook takes, queen takes, and he's still massive material up, which means this move is something else altogether. I think it's this rook comes here, giving him a check. He has to move away. He cannot come here because of this check and this mate. I think whatever he does, the queen delivers the mate. Okay, that does not help him much. Oh, it does, but I win a queen in the process. So yes, it does stop the mating sequence which I had clearly evaluated. Double check is normally what would help in this situation. Double check, king comes here, queen check, king comes here, and this is a mate. So I think that's what it is, a double check, and I deliver the mate on h8. Again, a pretty straightforward puzzle number 28. This is 34, I guess, is the highest score ever by us. Let's see if today we're going to be able to, touch somewhere close to that. Now what's happening here folks? Let's look at materially. It's 2 knights versus 2 bishop, and pawn wise we are equal. So I think overall it's materially equal situation. But what I see is that my rooks are along this file, but that's not doing too much. What about the queen? What are the squares that the queen has? So queen just does not have squares. Isn't this like just blundering the queen away? The queen cannot come here because of this. 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 Queen cannot come any of these squares either. So it's like just the queen trapped in the middle of the board. I think that's what this is. Absolutely right. I evaluated that position correctly. We have a possible mating sequence. The question is, how do you stop this mate? How do you stop this mate? So my plan is simply play this here and just deliver mate here. And I don't see an easy way to defend this position at all. because the earlier defense is gone. Okay, sorry, they do have this pawn push, simple pawn push, and then he loses the queen on that pawn push. So sorry folks, that is what it was. Now he has a bishop hanging. He has delivered me a check. Why don't I just do this, and he will have to retreat this somewhere and I win this. Is it that simple? I believe so. There's no way the queen is going to go back and protect that bishop. Alright folks, 32. We are at 32, 5 minutes in. So can we reach 35? We started from 22 of course. Here, what is the key threat for me? For us here, I do this, he takes, I do this, he takes, I do this. So if I do this and if he takes, then I get this back here, and this is also pinned. I think that's what it is. It's like this move, he takes, I take, he takes, and I take, but then he can just run back, which is a problem. No, not really. Actually speaking, once I take, he takes, once I take, actually this is pinned to the king, so that's not working. He had to do that. Now I win this bishop. Okay folks, 33 folks, 33. We are on puzzle number 33. I'm pretty excited to try to reach 35. That is where we had stopped last time. Here we can threaten mate in 1. He has a defense for that. I play this way or this way. We have two options. One of them is right. He defends this way. Alright, so then he take, I can take. Doesn't really help that much in this position. Okay folks, let's think over it. The king is in the corner. I would love to get my knight here, but that is not delivering the mate. Knight here, is it delivering the mate? I don't think so. Knight here is threatening mate. Simple rook here or rook here would solve the problem. No, the rook doesn't solve the problem, so the rook has to come here. So that's the only solution to that. And then I play this here. Doesn't help. No folks. So I think this here, rook here, I will have to take. Okay, or here. Is there any benefit of coming here? I'm a bit confused. Okay, actually speaking, I can simply take this and give him a check. Rook takes and I get this rook back. Okay, it's a much simpler puzzle than what I had, evaluated a mating sequence somewhere there. It was not happening. 34 folks, this was the highest we ever reached. So last couple of minutes to our puzzle streak day before we go to the next set. So what do we have here? We are an absolute queen down situation. I have this fork. It's not doing much. Sorry, my bad. This is not a fork, just a free knight. Okay, I have the queen. It's straightforward. Just win the queen. What is the problem? There's a problem otherwise. The problem is knight takes. Bishop takes knight, and this rook is hanging. Rook takes rook. I don't think so. Anything is hanging. I'm not clear. What's wrong with this? What's wrong with this knight takes rook queen? I'm absolutely not clear what's going wrong. It's a simple rook queen take. I think the problem is the move after that. Alright folks, so this is what it is. But then I'm winning his rook. I'm simply winning his rook. Yes, this is completely winning for me. Folks, we've reached the highest ever score, and last puzzle, I promise I was hoping if we can reach the highest score, puzzled score ever. So we have this check here. Okay, interesting. I have this check here. King goes here. Check here. No. Check here. King goes here. Sorry, the pawn takes, check here, pawn takes, because otherwise it's a mate. And then I think the whole game starts. Figuring out how do I get my queen to deliver the mate. So my thought process was straightforward. Pawn, knight here, pawn takes. Alright folks, let's evaluate the position again. Knight here, pawn takes, that's the only way to go. And then how do I actually deliver the mate? Queen takes. Let's look at the other option. Queen takes check, knight, bishop takes, bishop here check, and there's nothing. King just walks out as if nothing happened. Alright folks, this is interesting. So this check here is not helping me much, but I think this is the way that I thought that was the way to go, because I thought I would be having an opportunity to deliver a mate somehow. This was the other check I considered. The knight comes here, this check, pawn takes, so yeah, of course that pawn takes, the queen check, the king comes here, this is the mate. Okay, wonderful folks, so we've got it. We sacrifice the knight here and the mate will be delivered here. Great folks, I'm going to take a pause here. As we know, we do 10 minutes of puzzle streak before we get into the actual puzzle practice. Intermezzo was the theme which I have really blundered last week. So I'm going to do 5 puzzles on intermezzo. And then I'm going to get into the game. So the intermezzo is a puzzle here. So we need to see how do we go about doing it. Alright folks, let's look at the intermezzo puzzles that we have here. So we have, why don't we have this? We have this because of this check. So they have this check. So basically that's what's causing the fork. So what I need to do is basically first give him this check, and then the king moves away, and then capture the queen, because otherwise I stand to lose the queen. Okay, that also does not work. Oh, I have another intermezzo move. Before we do this. Okay folks, we have gotten first question wrong. We have a couple of four more questions to go. We have this fork, but this rook is in the middle, not allowing this. We just have lost our rook. We have 2 knights against a knight, rook and the bishop. What is the move? I have this move, a check here, and then take this. I think that's what it is. And now I can simply take this bishop out of the equation. I think it's as simple as that. Wow, that's because I had a mating sequence on the other side, I guess. So let's say if I had not taken it and let's say done something else, I have this check, he comes here. Where's the mate? I'm still not clear about the mate. Okay, I was not sure there's really requirement to push the king away. Queen into knight, I wasn't clear why, but he gave queen for 2 pieces and that's it. That's what he was looking at. So I can take this, but I have this check. Pawn takes, and then I can simply take this, and I think that's winning for me. Queen. Why don't I take the queen? What's wrong with taking the queen? Yes, I need to take the queen because otherwise he has delivering the mate here. I need to take his queen. Oh my god, that's not how this is working. I have this check and then win the queen completely. Alright folks, again we've got 2 wrong in the first 3, same as yesterday. Can we salvage the day? We have this check and I get this queen. As simple as that. Is there something that's troubling us here? So let's see, this check here and I simply win this queen. Isn't that what it is? Now I can just take rook takes and knight takes and we are good to go. I can even do knight takes, but then nah, I don't like it because then this rook comes here and then I'm troubled here. So I'm going to simply take this and take this. Okay folks, as we know, I think that we are able to solve the easier ones. As you can see, we are doing +4 +5. We've gained 9 points but lost 27 points in the puzzle streak, puzzle rating. So our puzzle rating is on the downfall. Yesterday also we lost a few amount of points. Now here what's happening, I can simply take this away. I have this check here. Not sure if it is helping anybody. Alright, there is a problem here, folks. Pawn takes, rook takes. Rook cannot take it back because of this, so I need to play this intermezzo move. I have this check. Oh, I have this check, which I'm not sure if this is the right way to go here, folks. So I have a simple pawn takes option, or I have a knight in the middle check, a rook takes, queen takes, bishop takes. Let's calculate. I think simple pure free bishop is much better. And then queen takes, and then the rook takes. So I think we are good, folks. So we've gained 13 points and lost 27 points. So we are net 14 points down for the day. But yes, folks, I'm not going to do more of this because we'll be short on time for our games. What I'm going to do, I'm going to play one game today, because yesterday I had two really tough games. I'm going to play only just one game today. I think yesterday I got carried away by playing the second game. I'm going to play one game here, and let me see how much time remains. So we have 15 minutes into the day, 15-16 minutes into the day, and we have 45 minutes remaining. So I think I'll have enough time to play 5 more of these intermezzo puzzles before we call it a day. Alright, folks, I've got a 1781, which is a fairly decent rated opponent. And the mistake I did yesterday was gotten into winning positions, played too fast. So only up to 10 moves I'm going to play fast, and then I'm going to slow down my game. You can simply take this pawn now. I'm going to open this. This is technically a mistake. I'm not sure how this is a mistake. I take, he takes, and then queen comes here, the knight goes back, and then the knight comes here. Is that the case? I'm not sure. I remember that this is not the bishop, early bishop move is not ideal in this queen's gambit setup. The only problem is I do not know how to exploit this. I mean, I don't remember my opening prep at this point of time, but I remember that this isn't ideal as such. I'm going to play this because once he gets this pawn in, then that is good for him. So let me try to misplace this knight. Knight comes, queen here, knight goes back here, and then put the knight in here. I think that's the way to go. Right, so I think the queen comes here, threatening this, so the knight goes back, and then I put the knight up, pawn up, pawn up. Okay, I think that's the way I'm going to push this game forward. I'm threatening this, but there's nothing much to be done. I can technically do this, but then the simple pawn push would solve his problems. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply develop. Alright, there's no major threats. I'm going to simply purely develop this game. I know that this is not an ideal setup for me, and as I said, I'm out of opening prep, and I simply kick this bishop around. Then I'm going to put my bishop here, pawn push, and then put the bishop here. We have some options available. I have this move here, bishop attacking this pawn, and then I'm going to push this pawn if the knight comes up front. So knight comes front, I push this pawn, pawn takes, knight takes, and then the queen. Yes, so let me simply push this pawn. I'm not sure what I'm doing, not clear. Alright, folks, I can give him an intermediate check. Alright, folks, I think let's invest some time. 8 moves in, I think we are fairly okay out of the opening. I want to invest some time to figure out the best move in this position, because I think his pieces are misplaced. I see the bishop here is misplaced, the knight here is misplaced. This knight can jump in here. Should I move the rook here, pawn push? So what am I considering? I'm considering this pawn push here. Why is a pawn push so critical? Let's say he simply castles. What do I have? I can take this pawn. He cannot take it back because of this queen here, right? Okay, great. So he takes this pawn, take this pawn, and then he castles. So he has, I have my pawn here, 2 defenders. He has 2 pawns here. No. Let's reevaluate. Pawn push, pawn takes. Should I take knight takes, threatening this? Pawn push. What? Pawn push, pawn takes, castles, and then I have this knight coming here, this knight comes up here. Alright folks, I'm not really clear what's happening. I spent a couple of minutes on this move, but I still don't have a good break. So I think I'm going to stick to opening principles. I'm going to put my bishop in a good square, which at this point of time I believe is, I don't know, here, here or here. If I play it here, he pushes the pawn, which then I'm going to put it here. Yes, I'm going to provoke this. Provoke. Okay, let's see if that works. This provokes, and then I go back. Alright folks, that's the move I'm going for. Provoke this pawn push, spoil the structure a bit, and then I'm going to move this bishop back to the square. Castle, yes, as I thought, I'm going to move this bishop here, and actually I don't think so this was the right set of moves, but okay, no issues. Let's simply castle and let's continue our development as such. I think this bishop intermediate move was wrong. Let's see. We're going to come to know once the round finishes, once the match finishes, we'll come to know what was the right set of moves. Okay folks, no issues. This bishop comes here saying I'll exchange this off. Main problem of course is this pawn is unprotected. I want my rook here and the other rook here, so I'm going to gently put my pieces where they belong. I actually have this move as well. Knight captures, this pawn is still protected. It's like I'm not clear what's happening in the game at this point in time. As I said, I was out of opening prep quite early. But yeah, I think this bishop is good. It's in a decent square, controlling a few squares. I want to push this pawn now. Pawn push, pawn takes. Yes. So pawn push, pawn takes, pawn takes, pawn takes, knight takes, knight takes, rook takes. I think we are good. I think I'm going to take the break. I'm going to take the central break now that my pieces are in decent places. And the rook, I want to open up this diagonal for my rook. The row for the rook. This particular D file for the D row for the rook. Alright, so that's what I'm hoping for. So let's see if it really works. So I'm going to get a bunch of exchanges, and then the rook sits pretty, controlling this open file, and then I'm going to get the other rook here to sit pretty, controlling this open file, and I'm hoping that my knights can do some good job here. So knight takes, I'm going to simply take this up, and rook takes, and I'm going to take from the rook. I have another alternative here. Pawn takes, knight takes, queen takes, but he'll just move his knight away, protecting this bishop. Yes, so actually speaking, that still works, because knight takes, okay, I'm going to simply take this back. Knight takes, queen takes, I'm going to get this pawn here, but he has a way to get the pawn back, but then I get the other pawn as well. Yeah. Oh yeah, this bishop is actually protecting this square as well, so which is good for us. So yeah, I think I'm winning this pawn. I think I'm pretty sure I'm winning this pawn. Okay folks, he's allowing me this nice little fork. Winning the rook, right? I think there's not much trouble in this calculation. I don't see any big threats out here. Alright, he has this here, but yeah, he doesn't have time. King has to move, queen has to move. I do take this up, and I think now he does not have what he really thought he had. Alright folks, I think we are good. Okay, I'm not very sure if that's a great idea. Why do I think so? I think this rook comes here, and I think I'm winning this pawn right at the base of this chain, and then I think I'm winning this rook for 2 pieces. I think we are doing really well, folks. We are doing really well at this point in time. Only thing is, I've been blundering from winning positions for the last 2 games. I was completely winning yesterday, but then I did blunder. So I'm not very sure if I'll be able to hold up today. So let's try. Let's simply try. His idea, of course, is to move this away, and this is hanging as such. But then I have a simple rook here, and yeah, okay. I'm not sure what's happening. I can use this bishop to attack this here. My still concern is this. I'm going to use this bishop to try and pin this. I think that's a better idea because I want to get this bishop out of this complication of a discovery, and I think this will do two tasks. I'm pinning this knight here, and then I'm allowing. Of course, if the bishop takes, I have a simple queen takes here to the pin still stays. There's nothing he's doing to remove the pin. The pin simply stays, and if he moves the king queen away somewhere, then I'm going to just get my queen back and trying to create some activity. I'm simply a three pawns up situation. I think I'll be probably +4 at this point of time. Alright folks, what do we have here? Can I get the queen here? Or can I get the queen here? And this check is good for me, is my guess. I also have this rook here as well, putting pressure on this knight, and I also have the queen here attacking this. But I think the best one here would be, I'm not sure why he's played this. It's actually weakening his position. My best bet is this rook comes along this to diagonal, and I'm trying to put pressure on this pinned piece. The rule is simple, folks. When you have a pinned piece, put pressure on the pinned piece. We know this. He has this nice little move here. Bishop takes. Okay, I think the knight comes here. Bishop takes. Queen takes bishop. But then I have the intermezzo, folks. Never forget intermezzos. Rule number 1 in chess. Never forget intermezzos. So once he comes here, I'm going to play this check here, and then take this. And actually, I'm meaning the queen. Sorry, folks. This here, I have this nice little intermezzo, and he loses his queen. Or queen comes in the middle. Yeah, that's right, folks. That's right. The queen can come in the middle. So my intermezzo plan did not work. But I think I'll get something else in return. I'm going to exchange off the pieces. One thing I'm surely going to get is a completely material up position. A completely material up position. Because I'm already massively up, and just by giving. Okay, yes, folks. He's asking me a tough question, or is it really a tough question? I'm going to simply take this pawn off. What does he do? Yeah, in fact, I can simply take this knight, chop off this knight. It's threatening the queen. So what do you do? I have no idea what he plans to do. Because if he takes my rook, I simply take this. Does it really help? We don't know how it would really help, but I think I'm going to simplify the position. I'm going to first leave the check and then take this up, threatening this, but doesn't really help much, I believe. Queen check. The king moves away. Rook takes. Knight. I think it's pretty straightforward. Should I or should I not take the knight? Should I give the check intermediate or not? Is the main question that I need to think about. Let's think about a minute here, folks. Is this check any which ways helpful in this whole transaction? I'm not sure if it is. I'm just not sure if it is. I'm going to take this. I'm not sure if it is really helpful in this entire transaction. I'm going to simply take this. I wasn't clear if this check really going to help me, so I'm going to just leave it as it is. Do we have a mating threat anywhere? I'm not so sure. So if I play the rook here, I could have taken. No, the bishop just runs away. Right? So I don't really have the time to take the bishop. Bishop simply runs away here. In fact, as of now, also I can take the bishop because queen can't take it back because you're losing the queen. So bishop just runs away. I don't see we had any major tactics in the position other than the fact that I didn't expect my opponent to simply blunder the match. Alright, I think this is purely blundering the match. There's nothing he can do about it. And yes, it's a quick resignation that has come up here, folks. So we knew that this was a mistake. Let's look at analysis board. As I said, I had forgotten my opening prep. I would want to look at what happened here. So I am sure that we did a few mistakes. I'm going to first switch off the engine and spend 5 minutes on this position. Interestingly, engine already gives me the analysis. So the knight, this is a standard opening that I always do, and he plays. As I told you, this is a mistake. The question is, how do I punish the mistake? Yeah, I think that's the right move. I did the right move. Now queen b3 was again the right move, and that was a mistake. Interestingly, I did play probably the best set of moves until this here. This was not the best one. What do I play here? The knight comes here, protecting this pawn was the better move, but okay, no issues. I played the knight here, which was bishop there is not very that accurate. Again, this was not accurate as I thought. Even when I played the move, I should have played. Okay, I think no way I would have thought about an h4 or a a4 in this position. You know, that would not happen. But other option that I was thinking was just to put the bishop here right away. Yes, I was right, folks. The bishop e2 right away was the right move. I think just playing this here gave him some counterplay, reducing my opportunities. My advantage has slightly dipped. Castles. I think that was logically correct. Bishop h5, winning my knight. Not sure what was very useful. And I thought this was the right rook to bring to the position. I think they suggest the other rook to the position. As I said, it's not so straightforward here. So I could have moved either of these rooks, and I believe this rook was better, but the engine suggests this rook here being better. Not sure why. I would open him the position, and I'm not clear. So it needs a little bit more study, folks, to figure that out. Okay, it needs a bit more study. Okay, sorry, folks. I think I'll have to go back to my rapid games. How do I do that? Alright, folks, let me just quickly go and evaluate the game that we were evaluating. So we were here and we were looking at this not being the accurate move, and then we castle seemed logical. Rook f d1, of course, you know, he says get the other rook here, but I think this is logical. I had to figure out the open file. And here d5 central break was a mistake. I'm not sure why, but this theme keeps coming back. The idea, I guess, is that this knight just does not have great squares. He would simply play this back, wouldn't he? And then you play knight e5, bishop x, knight x. I'm not sure why this is so much better than my position that I played. Okay, he's getting a pawn. I'm getting a pawn. The whole sequence get me a pawn, and that's what the whole advantage was lying on. It was pretty hard for me to look at this. Takes, and then he took it. Of course, we said that taking it was not the best idea. The best idea was, you know, try and attack me, apparently. So of course he didn't find it in the game. He took this, and then I simply chopped it off. And this, of course, was the blunder, and I punished him pretty well. And he took it with the knight, which I again felt was not accurate, because it allows me to kick him around and win a few more pawns. And I think after this, I don't think so we did any big major blunders in the game. And of course he blundered his knight bishop, which gave me the game. Let's look at the computer analysis and learn from our mistakes. Our mistake was this, and of course, you know, a4 was not easy to find, and I would be frank with you folks, I would not have played a4. If only I would have played a4 if it was part of my preparation. Alright folks, what we're going to do, we're going to go back to puzzle themes and intermezzo, the puzzles that we were doing. And today we lost 14 points in our rating. We are still in 2100 in the puzzle rating. But now here, what's the problem? Let's first understand the problem. It will help us to understand what's happening. Okay, I'm basically winning this bishop, isn't it? Queen check, queen takes, pawn takes, king takes, and it's a pretty straightforward puzzle. Still, I just take the queen. Oh my god, I have again blundered. There is... what do we have here? Okay, bishop takes bishop directly. Okay, alright folks, so we are down points because we didn't really find the right continuation. I have this check here, queen takes. I don't see to have... what is the intermediate move we can play here which would trouble my opponent? Queen here. Yes, I think that makes perfect sense, because if he takes it, I give this check and I still take this before I take this up. So great folks, we lost 13 points, gained back 4 points. Now of course we have this move here. It's a simple rook takes, but I think there's a better move to play here, which is what? Rook queen takes. Okay folks, let's understand what is the problem with the position. If I directly take queen takes, he just gives me a discovered attack. I come back here. So let's say I take this here. He cannot take this because queen takes. No, not really. Queen can't take, knight can't take. So it's not so straightforward. So first we will have to probably take off this bishop and then take the rook. Yes, finally we found out the reasoning. The whole idea was to find the reasoning before playing the move. So here the queen's literally hanging, but I can simply chop off the rook first and then take this here. Chop off the rook first. Okay, now let's wait for a second. Do we have any checks which is going to give him more trouble? Or I can simply I basically material down. I do not want to exchange pieces. But then if I take pawn takes and then I have this rook here which gives me this queening opportunity, and I think I should take it up. I can still play this, allowing me a queening opportunity, and I can simply push the pawn here to queen. Let's think about it. Pawn push, rook takes queen. Other alternative is rook here and then push the pawn. No, not really. It will not. It might not work. Rook to c7. The king comes here. Pawn push. King comes here. Queen takes. I get the rook, but it is not sufficient advantage because it's rook versus bishop versus queen versus knight. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to play this move. I simply queen. Let's evaluate the other position as well, because there are two positions we considered. The other position we considered was once you take, I take, and here we considered this, and this would completely be lost because the pawn queening square has been protected by the bishop. Okay, all right, folks. We figured out why the other position was not working because I was very confused about both of them. Both of them seemed very good. Now I have a simple mate. This is a simple mate in 2 puzzle, folks. I'm not sure why have they given this here to us because it seems a straightforward mate in 2 puzzle. I don't think so. It was part of the intermezzo theme. We've done 5 puzzles. We have done 5 puzzles at this point in time. Again, we are down. I think. Let's try and see my rating situation. I've lost 10 points. We have an option here. Let's look at the time that we have. We can play one more game, folks. Because I think the earlier game was not very tough opponent. We had a fairly easier opponent and we were able to beat him. So let's try and play a tougher game now and let's see how it goes. And if time really does permit, we may play a couple of puzzles after this. Now finally we got a very good player, 1904 compared to my rating of 1840. Compared to my rating of 1840, it's okay. And I'm going to play our standard Sicilian Kan structure that we always play. Now the typical move is knight f3, e6. I simply chop off this pawn, exchange it off, and then play an a6 move. This is Sicilian Kan structure. And I typically play b5 here, stopping the bishop to come to the square and then open up my bishop, queen and all of this. Now the problem of course is this bishop here move, which I typically play this pawn up, pawn down kind of structures to create it. And let's see. Okay. So I don't want the bishop to come here. I generally play queen c7 early and then get my pieces activated because I don't want this bishop to come here. Bishop comes, I can simply chop it off. So makes sense. So I want to put my bishop here, knight here, bishop here, bishop, knight here, and then castle. So we have 5 moves away. 5th move from now point is castling. Opponent has it in 2 moves. So opponent does get slightly edge in development. Now that edge, can we do something about it? That's the question. So let's see, folks, what would be his choice of moves, and let's see what's happening. Alright, folks, let's see what's happening at this point of time. Alright folks, so considering the situation that we are in, I'm not clear what should be done in this position. So I have laid out my plan. My move, a sack. This is a new, haven't seen this sack too often. Where do I put my queen? That's a good point. I'm going to simply put my queen here, allowing, I think I'm simply going to put my queen here. Is there a threat? Is there a check? This here. I'm simply going to push the pawn. The bishop coming here. I have this pawn push and this pawn push, and I think we are good. Are we? Alright folks, this pawn push, knight takes, bishop takes, bishop takes. So he does have some compensation. Oh, okay folks, I think I'm in a bit of a trouble here. I need accurate play. I haven't seen this variation. What's his plan? What's his idea? His idea is to put the bishop here or the knight here, and the other idea is of course putting the knight here. I'm not clear which of them I need to try to resolve. If he puts the knight here, bishop takes, and then I put this knight here, then play on. Right? This check is a serious threat, and I think I'm going to first solve for that. I'm still not clear folks. I think I'm really out of the opening ending. Drag move 89 has something up his sleeve which I am not able to clearly evaluate at this point of time, and I think he's done a really good job right out of the opening. Even though he's a piece down, he's gotten 2 pawns for it, and I think he has some way to figure out to complicate matters. So I was thinking give 1 pawn back up. I was thinking of that, so it's possible. I just simply, once this threat is gone, I could have still played this move here. This pawn push here would be a good idea according to me. Let's recalculate the situation. Pawn push, knight takes, bishop takes, knight comes here. I think we are fine. Are we? I think we are absolutely fine. I think I'm giving back a pawn. I think giving my 3rd pawn. I'm giving a 3rd pawn. But yes, I still think the piece would be better than the pawn. Let's see folks, let's think about it. Let's think about how do we need to go about doing this. Now I need my bishop out, knight out, and the castle at most priority. I've eliminated the initial threat. He has a nice passes here along this diagonal. I'm simply going to put my bishop out, knight out. This is his idea. I am not super sure about this idea anymore folks, because the queen not being here. Oh, he's trying to castle along this diagonal. Let me first threaten his queen, push this pawn front, get this out here. I think that is the way to go in this position. Threaten the queen, because queen is not threatening anything at this point in time. So I'm going to quickly threaten this. If king goes, the queen has come there. I have this move. I have this move, threatening the queen. He doesn't have a mate. Alright folks, this is protected, yes, but I have this check. Then I have a few more checks. And then I have this move here, which then gives me a bishop movement. Let's see folks, let's see. I think some of our problems are solved with this specific move. He will have to capture this, or else I'll capture him. Either which way is fine for me. Then I have a few set of moves which will simplify my life, which involves queen here. So let's say he does not take it and he just moves the queen away somewhere. Is it really working? Let's hypothetically say he moves the queen here. Example. Okay, I think I was overthinking it. There's a check right there. Now what? I'm still protecting this. Alright folks, let's take some time. We are ahead on material and I want him to exchange. Yes, absolutely. I would want you to exchange off pieces and I need to force you to do so. As simple as that. So I do this and I think it's completely losing now after this. Yes, I think this is the way to go. This is absolutely the way to go. Because once that is done, once the exchange is done, I think we are simply a piece up. And we need to find a way to... There's a check coming up. Rook here check, and I'm simply gonna rook e1 check. I'm gonna move the queen away, king away, and that's it. And he does not have a lot of activity. I'm gonna move the knight into the game, rook into the game. So it's gonna be a simple conversion, folks. So now it's all about getting this conversion. So the knight hanging in the balance is probably what is gonna change the team. For this knight hanging here, who's probably going to help us to exchange off, simplify material, and take this to endgame. And if we take this to endgame, we are winning, and there's no doubt on that because we are simply a piece up. No compensation for the piece. And let me go back and analyze. I think I did mess up the opening something, maybe. I'll have to evaluate what's happening in this position. And yeah, it's not that's straightforward. Maybe because he does have these rooks coming into the game early. He has this rook coming in. I have this movement here. Bishop no checks possible. One push saves the day, and then slowly, steadily, and surely develop pieces. Right, and that's the way to go. In fact, I would want to put pressure on his pieces right away. In fact, I have this fork lined up. I have this bishop coming in here. Rook comes out. I think we should be winning this if we don't blunder away from here, because we have a couple of nice little moves. First of all, if the bishop is not along this diagonal, I had this move here, pinning this and just changing it up. But bishop is along this diagonal. So bishop comes here, I have this push, and then I think everything's sorted. The king is in the middle of the board. I agree that's a problem, but so is his rook on h1 is in trouble. We are material up at this point in time, and we are also massively ahead on time. Okay, I'm not sure how that is a logical way to handle the situation. I'm going to attack your rook. I'm going to sit here. I can sit here. I have so many options. I have this rook, knight, bishop coming in to the game as well. So yes, folks, I would want to say that I think we are doing well. Do we have this and then completely blocking the knight away, bishop away from this diagonal? I have that option as well. No checks possible. And then I block this fellow off and then get this. I think I played this too fast. This move was played too fast. Alright folks, so I'm going to put pressure on this, and I have this check as well. So I think we have this here, this here. We have sufficient number of moves. So of course check. What does he do for this check? I'm not sure. He cannot take it. First check. Manage the check and then we'll talk about it. Let's see where he lands himself into, and accordingly I'm going to decide what needs to be done. Okay, he lands there. Rook into, bishop into is one possibility. bishop into right away, rook into, and then bishop comes back and settles somewhere here. Okay, I get a pawn extra in this calculation, and there is no fork. Is there a fork anywhere? I'm not sure. Let's see. Oh yes, he does have this beautiful fork. I totally missed it. But the advantage that I have is he does not have an intermediate move. The moment he takes this, he loses the rook. So now, okay folks, I am losing material. Question is, which bishop do I need in this situation? Alright folks, I have just given back the material gains that I have got. Only thing now I have is okay folks, now I think it's too late to think about the best move. Do I have this move here? What happens? Rook takes, pawn takes, then knight takes. Okay, I think I'll try this. Yes, knight takes, I take it, he takes, then I go back. So at least I think I'm up something. I screwed up folks as usual. I think yesterday 2 games we saw that completely winning positions. I messed up. Yesterday I did 2 times the same mistake, completely winning position, and I messed up, and I have done it again today folks. It's a terrible feeling yesterday, it's a terrible feeling today. I'm getting into great positions but not converting. So I'm trying to find some activity, some play which I don't think so exists. But there's nothing stopping me from trying. So I'm trying. This was just a random try, I would say. He has to take and I take, and I'm threatening this. I'm threatening this. Let's see folks what's happening. We are equal material. 1, 2, 3, 4 pawns against 4 pawns, but he's completely winning because his pawns are so much better than my pawns. Now that pawn's lost. The pawn's completely lost. Rook can't come here. Rook can't come to b8. Knight goes somewhere. It's completely losing. So folks, I had a terrible gameplay. Playing too fast, losing a winning match. It's not a great thing to do. There's no resignation. I don't want to resign. I think I'll have to let's fight it out till the last move and see how it goes. So first of all, let him take that specific pawn, and I'm going to try to attack his base pawn here. He takes this pawn, and I'm going to play my king here, protecting these two. He'll probably play this here, and then I play this, take this. Let's see how this goes. So yes, I think what I can do is allow him to take this pawn, and I take this and I take this one. Right, that's other possibility, because if I do try to protect it, he's going to just go back and defend it, and I would prefer to take some of his pawns. So let's see, I simply move where? Where should I move? I'll move here. Completely losing position, but let's not get disheartened, folks. It's all about fight that is left in the game rather than anything else. He takes, I just move up one step, and I want to come towards the other side of this board. Okay, all right. So I'm losing this pawn as well, but yes, I have some activity for my pieces. And let's fight till the match gets over, folks. That's what's going to be the situation here. I'm going to keep fighting. and I know that it's a completely lost game, completely winning game. I've converted a completely lost game, third time in 4 matches. So yes, not a great situation to be in, and I am not sure what is he trying to do here. He wants to exchange, which I don't want to give. If I come here, I think I can simply come here. Anyways, I'm losing this pawn, and I'm going to try to move this knight around somewhere. So I don't think so it's a big problem. The rook takes, and knight goes out of the game. So yes, knight just simply moves up here. And yes, it's completely losing, but we're going to fight it, folks, till the last, till the time we can. We have a check here. Not sure if it is helping. Yeah, I think it gives me a knight a great square. He's low on time, but yeah, we are 2 pawns down, completely losing. But let's fight it out. Let's fight it out. Let's keep fighting, hoping for some miracle. I'm hoping for this fork, but it's not helping me much. Okay, I can resign now. I think I simply missed a fork. Alright folks, let's analyze this terrible game again. As I told you, I was completely winning here, complete material up, and then I messed up very badly with this fork and completely gave into a losing game, and then I just blundered my fork and then completely lost. So I think it's pretty much, let's call it a day, folks. Maybe a couple of puzzles, but then then we can call it a day maybe. But yes, let's look at this mistake. This was a mistake. Was this a better move? No, that's not the way it goes. I could have kicked his queen around. Yes, the queen then would have forced this exchange, and then I get this in. So same thing, but with the situation. Yes, that was a terrible idea. I realize it now. I should have exchanged and simplified the position, folks. This is what I have been saying. I think what mistake that I've been doing is trying to complicate matters when I should simplify matters when I'm material up, and that's a mistake that I do very often, and one of my friends also does very often, that when it's a winning position, they don't convert, they don't simplify, they complicate the matters, and when they complicate the matters, you can see we had to resign a completely lost game because of the simplification in material up position. That's where we've been doing mistakes. Alright folks, this one anyways, this was a blunder. Okay, I should have come here. No. What did I do? Okay, I moved there, and it's saying that I should not have done it. I should have done it here. Because when you do that, I can simply defend this. How does it work? Then you move this, then I get this. So at least it's a better position. And in fact, I was winning. He takes, I take, and the bishop goes back, and it's a completely drawn position, which I messed up here as well. Alright folks, I think we can call it no, let's do 2 more puzzles. Hopefully, I want to go to puzzle themes and do intermezzo. So intermezzo. So I'm going to try and do this now. Okay folks, let's see what's happening here. The problem is queen takes. I run into this mating net here. So I first take, and then what do I have? I can still take. Knight takes, but I do not have. Knight cannot be captured back. Bishop takes is blunder because simply queen takes. So I think it's simple queen takes, knight takes, and then bishop takes. Yes, I think the order is very critical. And now I take the bishop because the bishop's hanging. He cannot take it because if he takes it, then he just loses this. Great folks, maybe 3 more minutes we have to complete the hour. Okay, the first thing is to displace the king and then take the rook, otherwise he'll get an advantage. As simple as that. And once I take it, he takes it, I have the opposition, and I am winning because once he goes back I get this. So I simply take this, because once he takes it, then I thought this opportunity works. No, it's a draw. Wow. What's the move? This one here. Why can't he play this? He takes this, and then he's queening. I queen first. I have to play this first, and then he pushes, then I push, he pushes, I push, he pushes. The advantage is I queen first and I continue to go on to win the match. Last puzzle, folks, last minute, last puzzle. Do we have anything that's interesting here? Knight takes. Knight takes, and I'm losing the queen here. I'm not really losing the queen, so let me explain. Oh my god, we end of the day with a mistake. Terrible. What? Rook takes before knight takes. How does that work? Rook takes, this takes, and this is a mate. Okay, folks, that's what we missed. Okay, terrible day. Not a really terrible day. Good day. I got one of my rapid games. We won one of the rapid games. We lost one of the rapid games, and we lost 16 points on the training puzzles. All right, folks. I'm going to call it a day.